Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
We are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow. And we are coming to you from Montclair, New Jersey on a cold, wet, snowy, where that came from, I don't know. It's not like we're in January or anything.
Right.
But
it's
snowy
not even sticking. It's just a wet.
Monday afternoon.
It's a very unpleasant conditions for dog walking kind of day.
Yes. We got muck boots and we are putting them to the test.
Yes.
They are waterproof and warm.
I actually walked through a puddle today, the one on the corner of Union.
Yeah.
I was so tempted because
it
was a splashing puddle.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to change my pants.
Besides, they're not that high. They're only
Right.
ankle boots.
Yeah.
So you know what's going to happen. You're going to splash and then you're going to have wet stuff inside your shoes, which is no good. Anyway, I had this whole spiel down and we did the whole thing and then we screwed it up and had to start over again. And now one of the reasons we're starting in the afternoon instead of the morning as we had originally planned is because we were planning out what we were going to say. We actually have notes as to what we're going to say. And as we were doing the notes, we were saying, oh, we want to do this. And then we would go down a rabbit hole, searching things. And
Several of them.
time just disappears. I don't know where it goes.
Time does not exist in this house. Just, I mean, you get up in the morning and then before you know it, it's like, it's time to make dinner.
Yeah, it's...
And I've accomplished nothing.
You have no idea of what you have done over
Right.
the day. Anyway, one of the things that we have on the list is to talk about some of the things that we've been working on. And some of the things we've been working on, we're actually going to be putting into the shop. There's going to be a shop update. Surprise!
So tomorrow, Tuesday, January 24th, at noon Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be putting up a couple bags. It's a very small shop update. As I said, time doesn't exist here. We're still trying to figure out how
To get things done
right.
in
So
a timely manner.
well, and more
They get done.
in and around other things.
Right.
So anyway, shop update tomorrow. So we have some bags. Start off with we have some cross stitch bags with the From the Heart squares on the back.
All of these are in the From the Heart fabric line.
Right.
We decided that one way we were going to attack all the fabric that we have is that we're going to take one line, make a bunch of stuff with it, show you things that you can make with it, put up half yard bundles and fat quarter bundles and that kind of thing for you to do things with. And we did that last week. You guys were amazing. Part of what we've been doing over the past week is cutting fat quarter bundles because you guys have been buying them, which is awesome. But also we want to make things to sell. So this is my long-winded way of saying cross-stitch bag.
I will now continue.
Yes.
Final front. Zipper. So we have a couple of these.
Awesome.
Ready to
Absolutely
go.
awesome.
Then we have knitting project bags, or crochet, or just project bags. They are our standard wedge bag. 2 different sizes. This is the standard, and then there's the large. I just love these flowers matched up with the gingham.
It's so pretty. So spring. So we have it with a white background, a blue background, and a pink background.
And you know we had to mix pink and green.
So we have those.
And then we have, again, the standard wedge bag. The turquoise animals with some hearts on the bottom.
Again, available in the standard and the large size.
Right. And then last week we showed you the bowl cozies as something to do with fat quarters. And several of you asked us, saying that you didn't want to make them, and could we make them for you? Which we were not originally intending to do, but sure.
Yes, of course we can.
So we have some ball cozies up in the shop as well. So that you can have red, turquoise, or the gray.
One note,
The inside will be different.
the inside will be different. Most notably, there is very, very limited amount of the yellow hearts. So
Yeah, more
the
than
yellow
likely.
hearts will not be.
Your other side will be one of these two.
Right.
So we do have 1 or 2 fat quarter bundles left if you're still interested. Other than that, some of the fabrics we are running low on, so the full fat quarter bundle will no longer be available.
Right.
But the yardage of the fabrics will be.
Of the individual fabrics.
Right.
The full yard bundle is also not available.
Oh yeah,
anymore.
no, I'm just,
It's just
buying
the-
by the yard
Right.
on the individuals. Yeah. So bags and bowl cozies. That is our shop update. Tomorrow, noon.
And after making these,
We fully. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say we fully expect to be hearing cha-chings as we play chess tomorrow.
Okay. So, more on that later. Because I know there are a whole bunch of people out there going, I'm sorry, yes, what was that? More on that later. After making these things, what do you have? Scraps. Lots and lots of scraps. So now, we're coming up with, what can we do with scraps?
I was gonna say our task for the week
Yeah.
is going forward. We're going to now take the scrap bag and we're gonna tackle some new bag ideas and use the scraps for them.
Right.
So they're gonna be scrappy bags.
And scrappy projects.
Right.
And one of the things that we did with the Fat Quarter Bundle is Helen made bowl cozies. One of the things I did was I made a journal cover, you might remember. And in it is my new project planner of things that I am going to be using. I have a box. I have a book. It's a book, not a box. I have a book. And in it, what I am doing are a whole bunch of projects to tackle. And then I found a website that has these. I saw somebody using this and I was completely intrigued. What she did was she wrote her projects that she's working on, and then she colored in for each day of the month that she worked on it, so she could keep track of, hey, I haven't worked on this project at all, or I seem to be spending a lot of time cross-stitching. You know, this seems to be where my focus is now. It gives you an idea, an overview.
I think it's intriguing too because you think, but when you get to the end of the month, it's like, what did I do?
Right.
Did I accomplish anything? And you go through and you're like, oh, well, I did. Because I accomplished a little on a lot.
Right. Now, I got this from a website that's My Cup Runs Over. And it's mycuprunsover.ca. She is using it for habit tracking. Like, I want to drink more water this month, or I want to walk 20 minutes each day this month, or whatever. She's using it for that. I am going to be using it for projects. And I just joined up for her newsletter, and she sent me PDFs in 3 different sizes of 5 or 6 different trackers like this that you could use. I chose this one to put in my journal for this month. So this is going to be February going forward, where I'm going to write everything on it and how I worked on it, kind of thing. But I also like the fact that I can put a list of things where I can find them with a checkbox next to it of things that ideas that I want to do. Because that was one of the things that kept us from podcasting. We started going through our Pinterest board.
Right. Rude.
Calling you in the middle of a podcast.
I don't care about my warranty right now. Can I show my journal?
Yes. Well, no, I was going to say all the different patterns that we have that we want to do. It's all these different things that we have, patterns that we bought from Etsy. All different stuff. I'm going to start writing it in my journal so that I know that it's there, that it's something that I want to work on. Helen is 7 steps ahead of me with her journal.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You have the exact same thing in your journal.
No, I don't. I just started jotting down bag projects. You've got this separated by different kinds of, way too.
I took a morning several weeks ago, and I was going to. We have. This is going to shock you. A tremendous amount of sewing books. Books on sewing. Quilts.
We have nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sewing quilts. What to do with fat quarters. What to do with charm cakes. We have patchwork. So I decided that I would start going through them and picking things that I wanted to do in 2023. So I have a page for quilts, some pillows, tabletop type things, like table runners and that kind of thing, bags and stuff. I got through not a lot of them, and then weeks have gone by. This was at the beginning of the year. So I have made 2 quilt tops since then, neither of which are here.
But you've made something.
Right.
It got you going to the point where you actually made something,
Yeah.
which is good. This is one of the things that we're doing, and I'm kind of excited about doing the journal and keeping track of, because we have done things. We have had a day where we've said, okay, we are going to try something new. What are we going to do? And then the entire day goes by trying to figure out what you're going to do, and nothing gets done.
And by the time you figure out what you're going to do, then it becomes very daunting, because then you have to figure out what fabric am I going to use. And
there's so many to choose from.
so I think I'll just sit and watch TV and cross stitch.
Because I have my cross stitch right here ready to go. Or I have my knitting and it's a piece of cake and oh look, I'm falling asleep. You know the cycle.
Right.
So what we are doing is we're trying to get things written down so that we have an idea of what we have, because we were going through Etsy and we have bought so many different patterns of things that I don't even remember buying. So having it so that you have it ready to go, and then you say, we're using this fabric line today. What do you want to make out of this fabric line?
Right.
Not, oh, I want to make this bag. Which fabric line should I choose for it? More, this is the fabric line we're working on right now. So what do you want to make out of it? Can you make this out of it? Will this work for it? Figure that out and then go forward.
Here, I have a bag of scraps.
This is what we're going to do. So for our bag of scraps, we bought a bunch of patterns from Rosie Taylor because we don't have enough. There's no way we have enough patterns. We bought a bunch of patterns from Rosie Taylor. She does a lot with small 1-inch squares that she fussy cuts, or scraps, like strips and things like that. So that is going to be perfect for the scrappy bags the scrap bag that we have to use up.
Right.
Anyway, go find her Instagram. If you're on Instagram, go find her Instagram account and see what she's making. A, she uses the greatest fabric. But B, it's really cool. She gives you some neat
Tips and tricks.
Yeah. So we got onto her by watching her do this with her 1-inch squares, and then went and bought a whole bunch of her patterns because she has some really, really neat things to make.
Yeah.
So I think those are going to be some of the ones that we're tackling first, just because we have the scraps that we want to work with before we put the From the Heart away.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is where we are going forward for right now.
That's the plan for next week.
That's the plan. Okay. So now,
In and amongst the plans for next week, we have a visit tomorrow. Getting back to the chess.
yes,
Our nephews are coming to see us.
nephews are coming.
And we have been informed that Brayden is very excited, and he's bringing his chess set to play his aunts in chess. Which, yeah.
Strikes fear in the heart of the ants.
Well,
I played chess last probably in high school. Maybe. I know I did play chess in high school.
We have a chessboard here, I know. And it's probably in there.
Maybe? I don't know. I was never that interested in it.
Yeah, it just didn't.
It didn't do it for me.
However, my
He's
brother,
11.
right? And my brother was saying that he held his own with them, with his sons to begin with when they first got it at Christmas. And now he has to keep track of what they're watching on YouTube as far as learning how to play chess because they are so far above him now. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be very good for their egos because I don't even remember what all the pieces do.
I mean, can we flip the chessboard? Is that allowed?
Yes. I quit these crazy animals.
Brayden is 11, Cullen is 8.
Yes.
And they're going to whoop our butts.
Yep.
However, we're going to bone up on chess and see what we can do.
Right.
They are coming up. They're so excited. One of their big Christmas presents is they're going to see a Rangers game at Madison Square Garden. And those two are just beyond excited about that. So they are doing that in New York tonight and then hopefully coming to see us tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah, we got to become chess champions overnight. I saw the Queen's Gambit. I should be able to fudge my way through this, right?
Good.
Piece of cake. All right. Okay. The nephews are coming. That's all I care about.
That's all that matters.
We just placed an order. So the 3-year-old, when he came up, we had a bowl of Christmas candy out for Christmas. And the last time they came up was the day after Christmas. And he went into the living room, and that is now the candy room because he found the bowl and he would take the candy and he put it in the refrigerator to keep it cool. And then as he was going by, you would notice that the hood of his hoodie was just stuffed full of candy.
His father asked him, he's like, where'd you get that candy? And he's like, from the candy room. And my brother looks at us and he's like, there's a candy room in this house now? Yeah.
Obviously. So
where did you go?
We've now placed an order to restock the candy room. So we are going to have to go get the order from the front porch because the squirrels are going to be hanging out there munching on the Twix and the $100,000 grant or the 100 gram bars.
Right.
When we go out and find hyped up squirrels on sugar.
Our checklist for today is learn how to play chess and stock the candy room.
Right, there you go.
And get Coke.
3 very, very important goals. All right.
That's Coca-Cola. I'm not giving Coke.
No, we just give them sugar.
I just give them sugar. I don't need to
give them sugar and hand them back to their parents for a 4-hour drive home. That's my job as an aunt. All right, so these are things that we have made for the shop. Let's show you some things that we've been making for us.
Right.
Projects that we've been working on. How many do you have?
I have 2. I just have a knitting and a cross stitch.
Okay, so do I. I have a knitting and a cross stitch. So I will start with my knitting. I am working still on the Wander sweater by Tin Can Knits. I'm doing this in Chaos, which was the last yarn that we dyed. And this is where I am so far.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous.
I have split for the sleeves, and I'm working my way down the body. There is a cable pattern on the front.
Is there a line going down there? No.
That is where I am switching yarns.
Oh, okay.
I'm alternating yarns. The back is a straight garter stitch. I am alternating skeins. Oh, yeah, stockinette, not garter. Straight stockinette stitch. I am alternating skeins. And can you hold that? Thank you. This, you might see a line coming down like that. That is where I am alternating the skeins. I'm switching, but I think that's going to, when
that's gonna
block it, that's going to block right out. So, or if it doesn't, it's a design feature that goes down my back of.
Because this sweater is gorgeous.
It really is. The cables are really pretty. It's a beautiful pattern. And
it's definitely your color.
The yarn is absolutely stunning. It really is. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I am alternating skeins just because there is a difference between the skeins, so that
it was just the dyeing process of that particular color.
Right.
That there was no way to get all of them to look the same, so it's a variegated yarn.
I mean, here they are in the balls. You can see that this one has a little bit more blue and this has a little bit more green, so that it's just a matter of Every round, I switch to the other one. It's not a big deal, and now it just looks like a very variegated sweater.
Right.
It doesn't look like, oh, there's a line where she finished one ball of yarn and started the second. So I fought it for a longest time, saying I didn't care, whether there was the line or whatever. And then for this one, alternates games. There's a reason for it. Okay, go ahead.
Last time we showed our progress on stuff, I said I was only going to work on one project until I completed it. And I'm still kind of doing that. I'm working on my Battenberg blanket, which is a crochet project. But we were walking the dogs one particularly cold and wet night, and don't know what word was coming out there. It wasn't the right one. My mittens were not warm enough. My hands were so cold, and I'm like, I need warmer mittens. So I knew I wanted to make the waffle mittens, which we've made before. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's a very simple pattern. Takes Aran weight or worsted weight yarn, and the last time we did it, we used mohair. And so I just went and found one of our random skeins of sweater toad. This was an old skein of ROUS from our Princess Bride line. And I grabbed orange mohair to hold double with it.
So if you want to know what a difference using a colored mohair with yarn is,
Right.
this is ROUS. Now show this is the mitten.
So this is the first mitten. I am decreasing at the top right now. And then I just have to do my thumb and the first one's done. It is, I'm using Aran weight, using a size 3 needle, so it's a nice tight gauge, and the mohair closes any gaps. So these are gonna be nice, really warm mittens for walking the dogs.
It is not showing nearly as orange on.
Yeah.
It also looks like you're giving everybody the finger. 'Cause that's all it's showing. The orange shows so much more in person.
Yeah, I guess it's the lighting in here is too. There you go, a little bit. So
Okay.
Here.
However, my whole point is, if you are going to hold a colored mohair with
does
something,
make a difference.
It makes a difference. It makes a lot of difference.
Which I was hoping it would do.
This is an absolutely stunning color.
Yeah. So this is the waffle mitten. I will link the pattern in the show notes. Very easy pattern to memorize.
And fast. When did you start doing that?
Last week. So it's taken me about a week to get this far, and it wouldn't take me nearly so long. But I only get a couple rows a night in. But using the Aran weight, a couple rows is like an inch. So, yeah. So I will have one mitten done, which is probably all I need because I have my original set, I only have one mitten because I lost one on one of the walks. So if I don't mind having mismatched mittens, I only have to do one. I will do both probably. Let me fling my needles around a little.
Thank goodness I'm wearing glasses, because otherwise I'd be losing an eye. Okay.
So once I've done these, back to the Battenberg. Even though Beth keeps holding up her sweater, and I'm like, I want to make a sweater.
My other project is I'm working on Detective Toadski for cross stitch. This is my Mama Witch cross stitch. That is what he's going to look like when he is finished. And this is where I am so far.
Wow.
So I'm done the top half, and I'm starting on the second half.
It amazes me every single time. You're going along and you're so hyper focused on each individual stitch that you're putting in that you're not really paying attention.
I had no idea there was a carrot up here.
That as the patterns show up.
It's so cool. I love him.
He's fantastic.
I absolutely love him. So this is what I've been working on. I get so much in a day. It's catch as catch can, but he's going to be perfect, absolutely perfect as a matching set with my Dilio shade. So I'm so excited to get him done. So first top half is done, and now I'm doing the bottom half, and I am just noticing that there are ghosts in this pattern.
Oh, is that on the pattern, or is that the fabric she used?
No, I think that's in the pattern because it's
Oh, look at that. Oh,
on
because
the
it's
bottom.
full coverage.
Yeah. So they're going to be ghosts. See them on the bottom?
You can see here. There's the house. Oh, now you look at it here and it's like, oh, all right, whatever. But then you look at it on the screen. It's like, oh, yeah, duh, there's a house right there.
Okay then.
And these are obviously branches of the tree.
This is so much cooler than I thought. I didn't realize there was a house and ghosts in it.
As I said, you get so hyper focused on getting the colors on the right, the stitches in the right spot, that you're not even really paying attention as the pattern comes alive.
And I very rarely look. The only time I look at the front page is when I'm showing it to you. So for me, I have this in my good notes, and what I do is I color in each stitch as I do it.
You color coordinate your crossing out.
I do. I do it as so I can see what I've been doing, but you can see that, that's what I've been doing. So, all right. Who knows what's going to show up by the time I'm done? I mean, not me, that's for sure. So I will show you as we keep going.
I'm working on, again, Mama Witch cross stitch, the Christmas evening. I've gotten the first quarter done. So you can kind of see there are the eyes for two of the frogs, half a fireplace. And I've started the second quarter and I'm almost done this border coming down, and then I'll start filling in more of the middle. I love the cardinals at the top.
It's going to be so cool when you're done.
And again, it's just, oh look, they're little ornaments in the the garland. It's so.
Very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Very pretty. So cool.
So mine is much bigger than Mary Beth's. Because, oh my God, she's done half of it already. And then I look at the size difference.
Yes.
So. It's like watching her read. This morning she's telling me she needs another book. And I'm like, we started a book at the same time, the same book. I'm still reading it, and she's read 3 other books since then.
Okay, I read that one. I was done it before. I was 3/4 of the way done it before you started.
No, you're only like a quarter of the way. That's why we bought it on Kindle, because it was going to take you that long.
Okay.
Just,
I am done it. And 2 other books.
yeah, that's just, this is my life. Feeling inadequate.
You should not. That's silly. Okay.
I've always been a slow reader.
So that's what we've been working on. We get some time in the afternoon and early evening that we get to stitch or knit, and we take whatever time we can.
Right. The other thing is, you might have noticed that we have totally lost our podcast schedule. The twice a week, just once a week. We're still trying to figure out podcast schedules.
A lot of things.
Right. It's just, you get up. I think there were 2 days last week where we were going to podcast,
Right.
and it just doesn't happen. So we're just we're trying to give ourselves a little grace and not put so much pressure on.
Right.
Gotta get this done. So it's just kind of stay tuned to your subscription feed as to when we show up.
Stay tuned to your local podcasting schedule.
But if you are a subscriber, thank you. If you're not, please subscribe. And then if you hit the notification bell, it'll notify you immediately once we get it uploaded. There are going to be weeks where we get a couple up, and there are going to be weeks where we don't get any up. So we're just finding our way.
Right.
And then last thing is one of the things we do with our cross stitch time is we have Gardener's World from we watch it on BritBox going in the background. Our mother, because I know sometimes it sounds like we have separate mothers.
Yeah, right.
She adores it.
We do too.
Yeah.
All three of us get so involved in it. I mean, we get so excited about what they're doing.
We mentioned we have muck boots.
Yes. We got muck boots so we can do the garden.
I was removing things from our Amazon cart this morning because all of a sudden I have a seed sower, a bulb planter. And I'm like,
Well, they start talking about things and I want to put them somewhere where I'm going to remember them. So I put them in the Amazon cart knowing that we can save them for later if we don't
Right.
need to get them now. Although I think we should just get them. But Helen is preaching a little bit of, not preaching, Helen is suggesting that maybe we wait because it's January and we're not going to be doing it right this second. However, this way we know where they are
Yeah.
and what to get, because
Monty has the coolest tool.
he does, and he goes through and he does things, and I realize that he has been doing this for 35 years on air and for many years before that, so that he is, this is his job. He knows what he's doing. He planted sweet corn in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Full-size plants.
They had a raised bed already done and already soiled so that the soil was nice and loose. He just goes, wherever he decides to plant, he just takes his hand and moves the soil aside. I mean, we have rock hard. Number one, we have, I don't know how many years of leaves that we have to remove first, which is mainly my plan on moving tools to later because we don't even know what we're going to get to this year aside from clearing. So,
however, we get very excited about things. Do we always carry through? Not so much, but I'm hoping that this we will.
Yeah,
because
I have to start
all three of us are very excited about doing it.
Making notes on plants because he was showing poppies yesterday that were just absolutely stunning. I'm like, we could grow poppies. We could have our own little opium den.
Yeah.
I mean, revenue stream.
Well, there is that. Oh,
I mean, one of the things I want to do is just get a whole bunch of wildflower seeds and just
down the side garden.
Just run
the side
just
yard.
all over the yard. Just
clear it
while we figure it out
and throw some
have
wildflower
wildflowers
seeds.
grow.
Yep. We're going to have the wildflower meadow. Let the grasses grow and the seeds go wild. But doing that, we got some books to keep us on track. Because as some of you know, we want to be Tasha Tudor when we grow up. So we got Tasha Tudor's garden because she was very into her gardens. So we can look at her gardens and see, because she was in Connecticut and Vermont, and she's got very similar growing season that we do.
Yeah.
So it will work. We also got Tasha Tudor's Life, The Life and Times of Tasha Tudor, or The Private World of Tasha Tudor.
Neither one of these is still in print. We got them through thrift books.
Mm-hmm.
So they're used, but
In very
they're
good
in
condition.
excellent condition. So.
But the pictures are just... One of the things I love about this is that in all the pictures, there are either flowers or animals of one sort or another. She almost always has animals in her.
Hit myself in the nose.
I mean,
Is that her corky?
wildflowers
Yeah.
with a corky, So, just... How many times have you seen a dog doing that? That pose. For reference.
And this one goes by month. The garden, she splits up by month.
This one she splits up by season, I think.
Okay.
Things to do during the seasons.
Look at the back. I want that house. I would like that yard. I wouldn't mind the dog.
Also, just going back to Gardener's World very, very quickly, if you are fans like we are, I don't know whether you know, but if you go to their website, they have a month-by-month plan or a month-by-month blog that tells you what you should be doing during that month. So they have January up with all the things that you should be doing for your garden in the month of January. None of these we can do because it all has, it's based on
Existing
you
plants.
have a garden.
Right.
And we don't yet. But we will keep you apprised as to what happens.
Right.
It could be that nothing happens. It could be that we wind up with a beautiful cutting garden.
Right.
Who knows? We shall see. Moving on. I think that is it, right?
I think so.
I think the candy room is now outside on the porch that we have to go get.
Right. We also have to remove a Christmas tree from the candy room.
Yes. That is on the plans for today. We are undecorating the Christmas tree and taking it out.
Half of it has already been undecorated for us.
We are learning that maybe when you decorate a Christmas tree, you decorate for the top half where certain dogs can't reach.
We're used to, well, part of it is we're used to a much lower level dog.
Yes.
Not one with quite such
Range.
extended reach.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have our ornaments on the top and Hugo's ornaments on the bottom. All right.
Okay, so tomorrow noon, bow cozies and some bags.
And cross-stitch bags. Don't forget the cross-stitch.
Don't show that one.
Okay.
That's a bad one.
Cross-stitch bags. Evidently, we get to keep one of them.
Two of them. We
Two
each
of
get
them.
one.
Excellent.
Cross-stitch bags. Bow cozies.
Project bags.
Project bags.
Wednesday, noon, Patreons.
Oh, yes. Okay, sorry.
Patreons, we are going to have our last crafternoon of the month. We did 3 this month because we had missed November and December. So we have already done 1 in the middle of the afternoon. We have done 1 at night. And on Wednesday, the 25th, we are going to be meeting at noon Eastern Standard Time. If you are a Patreon member that is a seagull or a sandpiper, I think those are the two. It's the $10 and $45 levels. These are open for you. I will be putting up the information on Patreon with the Zoom meeting information that you can come join us, hopefully, but noon Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday.
And if you'd like to join our Patreon, there is a link in the show notes.
Yep. Okay. That does it.
I think so.
We are off to do all the things that we do here at the Hollow.
And prepare for the nephews.
And prepare for the nephews.
Chess lessons.
Yep. Also, clearing all our stuff off this table. We're going to wave the magic wand
I was gonna say,
and clear.
remember how I said we were setting up
everything off
our
the
little,
table?
sewing stations? Well, the sewing stations now have to be moved
Right. So
and
we are going
make it
to
a dining room table again.
clear that off so that we have space to play chess with the nephews.
Right.
So we hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Go forth and create.
And we will see you at some point
Right.
in the very near future.
Bye.
Bye.